see from the Chargers defense? Bosa, they had a big first-round pick.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I know he missed some time with training camp, but defensively, what do you see from him and the rest of their team?
A very optimistic, defense that, I think believe they're in the top three, or if not leading the league in takeaways. Have to be very accurate with the ball. Have to protect the football versus team.
Were you at all surprised at kind of the attention the deal the other night received?
To a degree, I was, but a lot of it, was falsified stories, and my whole mentality right now is just on to San Diego, trying to find ways to, keep this season intact. Still creating good habits with winning football games, and that's what I'm most worried about.
Do you ever get used to the falsified stories, the things that are said about you?
It's funny. It's really fun. It's interesting. But when you start hearing falsified stories from the people who really know you, that's when it really affects you. So and I haven't. So, it is what it is.
Given all that was flying around, is there anything you'd want to set the record straight on?
No, it was I violated, the wardrobe, and that's it. You don't have to dig into certain stories that violated curfew, was out at a club, somebody was caught in the room. No, it was, like I said, I still stand by Coach Rivera's decision. And that's just a warning for everybody, and at no point in time or even still do I think I'm above the law. I never thought that I'm not that type of player. A lot of people may think that from the outside looking in, because, number one, it doesn't bother me because they don't know me. And for anybody who's ever known me or was on my team, they would know, this situation could have been prevented because of my decision. So.
In this position, kind of playing for pride or whatever it is, there are guys in the locker room that maybe haven't been in this position before because it's been a number of years.
Mm-hmm.
What do you hope to learn about those guys, the guys in the locker room, about kind of maintaining this fight?
Well, it's challenging. It's extremely challenging. It's humbling as well. But yet, you still have to keep getting better. You have to keep doing it. With the practice like we had today, the intensity was high. And just, finding ways to challenge each other and, keeping that mentality that you have to find ways to win football games in the latter part of the season. So no matter what this year, entails for us, we just have to know we have to win football games in November and December.
Eric Anderson was talking about how the older guys, especially, that when you get to a season like this, after a season like you just had, that it's even tougher because you don't know how many more of those you'll have. What's it like for you at this point in your career to have this happen after 3 straight trips to the playoffs?
Yeah, I don't, I really can't speak on nobody else, but it's demoralizing. It don't matter what your success rate is. Coach as well as Mr. Gettleman always talks about sustaining success year in and year out, and we have to find ways to do that. And when we don't do that, then that's a problem and that's an issue. It's no need to panic about certain things. You just got to go back to the drawing board, and we're still in the process of learning. We're still in the process of getting better, and that's the optimism of it all.
Speaking of learning, how are you learning, adjusting to all the changes on the offensive line? Are you getting a little more comfortable with all those things?
Just going with the flow. And playing in this league, you never know when the Grim Reaper is going to come by and touch whoever, man. And we've been unfortunate at not only the offensive line position, but everybody that's suffered any type of injuries. But the fans don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. Nobody wants to hear the realism of why you put yourself in this position. But yet we just got to find ways to win football games, and that's kind of what it always comes down to.
In your whole career here, y'all have always played better in the second half of the year. than the first half. How frustrating is it that that's not happening this year?
Well, it's not over. You got to give us a chance, but I do know we've set a standard here, and it's unacceptable. I'll be the first one to tell you it is. But needless to say, you still got guys that's giving unbelievable effort, contrary to to certain people's belief, and still putting in overtime, knowing that dividends will be paid off.
What does it say about Trey Turner that he gets thrown on the out to the right tackle side, and he's willing to do that and kind of holding his own, I guess?
Man, it speaks volumes. Trey is a guy who is a team person, who's a coach me coach type of guy, and we funny thing is coach was coaching him up on the sideline to get prepared during the Oakland game. You know what I'm saying? And it's certain things like that you just cherish and you appreciate, and makes you more accountable as one of the leaders on this team, to say, if you got a guy like that that's willing to go to bat or step up for that big responsibility, then I can't let that guy down. And that's why I'm still playing as hard as I can possibly play, just knowing that it's guys that's giving unbelievable effort, and I'm just trying to be one of those guys.
How important is it in this kind of climate of, like you said, disappointment, to hold on to those moments moving forward?
But it's just the culture is just habits that you have to create, and I know Trey is one of the guys that we have to keep. He's a core guy, and it shows.
One of the other narratives this week has been folks questioning whether you had properly prepared yourself after that Super Bowl season. Did you have too many outside distractions? What would you say to that?
I'm a professional. The distractions come every single day, from family, from media, from workload. It's my job to put myself in the best situation to succeed. I understand, we're not having the season that we wanted to have, but it's no need for people to just, malicious, go out and say, well, he was doing too much. He was doing this. He's worried about this. He's worried about that. That's the easy route, But for me, I have a family to provide for, and with that comes a responsibility to myself that, from off the field issues to on the field to preparing for on the field, it's my job to be in the best wave as possible. That's mentally and physically.
Would you want to do that show again this offseason?
Why not?
I mean, are you planning on doing it?
Who knows? And if I am, I don't think no one can tell me not. Yeah, I'm just saying. I think oftentimes, as athletes, I always say, we get ridiculed for being human beings. I had a situation that happened in California, and, just at the hotel, and, one of the kids just trying to get my attention, right? So walking out to my Uber, and at one point of the time, no one said Cam. They was just like, oh my God, I think that's Cam. I think that's Cam. I think that's Cam. And one of the kids runs, and I had a hoodie on trying to be as discreet as possible. He looks up and says, yeah, that is him. So one of the kids just, blurts out an explicit. I'm like, dude, come on. It's and for people to hear it, oftentimes, like I say, in our position, we don't ever get to express ourselves that we're real humans. So, I wanted to talk to the kid and tell him, I'm not going to touch you. I'm not going to, put my hands on you. I just want you to understand something. At the end of the day, you get sleep, you eat, you're in a good mood and a bad mood just off of certain things that happen in your life. That's who I am. Just because you see me on TV, just because, you may follow me on social media, kind of put me in a immortal state sometimes. But for me, I'm human. I want people to see my mistakes. I want people to see my flaws, and I want them to realize that he still makes mistakes. And I still do. I still wake up every single morning trying to master this game of football, knowing that nobody has really ever did it. They may, opinions of fans may say this person is better than that person. And just overall in life, I have responsibilities, off the field, that this, life is bigger than football. So if you're questioning certain things that I'm doing, I have a whole nother list of requirements and duties that that I need to take care of. So outside of football, I do have a life. Football takes up a lot of my life, and I appreciate it. This is the life I chose. I'm not complaining. Hear me out when I say that. All I'm telling you is and just everybody that I'm human. So that's the moral of the story.
Do you think you're treated fairly on the outside?
I think everybody that's in that locker room. I mean, you could say sometimes you may get a rap that you can't really agree upon, but that's just life, man. If I was trying to impress every single person that thought I was an asshole, then I would be drained. You know what I'm saying? I'm me, and I apologize, Mama. She told me to stop. But if that was my way of living, trying to make this person happy, make that person happy, do this and do that, and say, well, he just don't get it. Hey, I'm not living for the people like that. I'm trying to inspire people as much as possible while I do have this pinnacle that God has blessed me with. And if I do, then good. And if I don't, then it pay you, to pay me no mind. It doesn't cost or hurt you or whatever. Do whatever you got to do. But I'm just trying to perfect myself in a sense and make the most of everything that I'm coming across.
From a football perspective, and I know you've had an offensive line that's been in flux, but your numbers are down pretty much across the board. What do you think's been the reason for that?
I don't know. It's just me. It's me. It's numerous things that I need not say, but I could tell you it's not because of preparation. You just the luck of the draw sometimes. You can stay in here, you can sleep here, watching a lot of film, being prepared on certain situations, and we get paid, or we get let's say we get ridiculed off our production on the field, let's say. So it doesn't matter how much I prepare, if it doesn't translate on the field, then people would just say, oh, he's just garbage. So for me, it's trying to get it to carry over from practice to games, and in this situation, in this season, it just hasn't turned over, and I don't have nobody to blame but myself.
Are you still confident in your mechanics? You think you're mechanically skilled? People want to say you throw off your back foot.
Who is people? Is it a quarterback? Have they played in this league?
Some of them.
Okay, cool. Well, bravo to those guys. But I look at even the best quarterbacks that they said play this game, and mechanically, it's not about that. It's about completions. Thank you.